Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a bit of a while. Again, I've moved on with the next video. Basically what I'm going to talk about today is the Scutopia 22mm carb. I've got a Jetex here just to show some differences. What I've got with the problem when I put this on my recently built Series 200 upgrade, so this will be a continuation of the video, was the actual reduction sleeve. This is a Delauto one, and this is their Scutopia one from this carb, or from that carb I should say. That's the Scutopia carb. Let me just show you on here with the inlet manifolds. Basically that's Scooter's India 22mm, and if you notice it stands upright. Yeah, that stands upright, doesn't fall over. Quite a bit of weight to it, and these are like the pattern ones. I don't know who makes them, but they don't even stand up. What they are is they're smaller, so these reduction sleeves are loose, the Scutopia one being a lot tighter. Well, the one that I've got, or the inlet manifold that I did put on the cylinder when I rebuilt the engine, I think that this is not actually clamping down enough, and I'm drawing air in on the back. But I've actually done quite a lot of homework with these carburetors, and I've done a lot of messing around with them as well. And depending on your train of thought, the kit comes with a 150 slide and a 200 slide. The general senses of opinion that I can sort of gen is you use the 200 slide on the 200, 150 obviously if you're using a 150 slide, and there is a reduction sleeve that goes inside. That's the wrong one again. Inside here, that you have to take out to put it onto a 200. So bear that in mind if you've got one of these and it doesn't fit your inlet manifold. The inlet manifold, like I say, that comes with these scooters is smaller, and I think that's a 150. If you look at the actual, you know, the in on them, they don't. This is actually a 151 to be honest with you, but these are a lot bigger on the seal ones than they are on the patterns for some reason. So you're going to get a lot more intake of fuel, and you mix your air and fuel. But what I wanted to do was, obviously, because they say it's a direct replacement for a Delauto, so that's a Delauto one that doesn't fit in there, full stop. So they're not exact copies. That might be because then they can say there is a difference between, you know, the original Delauto is copyright probably still in place. I don't really know, to be fair to them, as long as they fit. So what I'm going to have to do is put that sleeve back into this carburetor, and what I've decided on doing is I'm going to use a Scooter's India inlet manifold. So, you know, that's going to be tighter on there and tighter in there, so it's going to be, you know, a lot more of a seal. But the only problem with that is because where I've knocked it off, it does get slightly damaged. I'm just going to have to just clean up in there. It won't stop it, you know, it won't have any detrimental effect on it working, because all it is basically a stop. It doesn't do anything else but stops the carburetor going too high and obviously getting damaged metal to metal. So and it acts as a seal as well. So when that's in the carburetor, if you can imagine that being in there, when you push, that's just a stop. It doesn't impede on any airflow or anything like that. It should be nice and clean. I still need to clean it a tad more, but I would have preferred to have just swapped that. You know, I'm a bit sort of funny like that with putting bits and bobs in. But the other point why I've made this video is the sensors of opinion with these as well is the atomizer is not too good when you set it up as a 200. So what most people are saying is, you know, with my setup where I've got the Clubman exhaust, is to use the Dash 4 basically 150 atomizer it's already got a 118 main jet on there, but the original one, if I can find it on there, it hasn't fallen off. It's been a few days since I stripped the carburetor down, and I just need to find all my bits and bobs again. But there it is there. The one that's in it is a 589-2, I believe, if I can read it. Yeah, 589-2 and 4. They look exactly the same, but apparently the holes are bigger. I can't really tell, to be honest, looking at that, but apparently the holes are bigger on the 151 for some reason. I don't, you know, I'm not a carburetor expert, but you know, most people are saying that when you rev up, if you've got the wrong atomizer in there, basically, you get like bogged down when it revs, so it will tick over all day long. You get crap mid-range, so if you just pottering along the road, it goes to what they call 4-stroke, so it's almost like it's misfiring. And I noticed when I did put this carburetor on and started the rebuilt engine, it was bogging down in the middle. So you do your homework, you know, go on the internet, have a look around, and most people are saying, you know, to use the 151, not the 200 atomizer. I don't even know what main jet I was using, or 120. So I'm going to use the 118 and go up from there. A lot of people say use the 150 and put a 122, you know, 125 in. That's something that it's not hard to mess around with, you know, taking a carb off and on shouldn't be a bad chore. And jetting is vital to your scooter, getting you down the road and back, and not holding pistons and things like that. That and your timing, you know, these two things, and you check them with your spark plug, basically, which we'll talk on in another video. But what I'm going to do is put the sleeve back in on this one, rebuild this carburetor, and then we can stick it on the Series 2 in a bit and see how that runs. So I'll just cut away while I put this back. All you're doing is you're just pushing them in, you know, whatever way you do it. I use a socket, not that socket, but I use a socket in, oh sorry, I just dropped the socket. I use a socket and a vise, basically, but you can quite easily just use, you know, a rod with some nuts and bolts and some washers on it, or the old way, just put a flat piece of metal on there and just hammer it in. But you've got to be careful that you don't distort, you know, and there's nothing worse when people have been hammering these on and off, and that's what a lot of the original Delautos have suffered with. So I'm gonna put the sleeve back in again, and we'll see how tight this new or replacement inlet manifold fits into it. One, I'm happy that, you know, that's not leaking, but like I say before, I just thought, you know, like everybody, that these are direct replacement for a 22mm. So you set it up as 22mm with the atomizer and Bob's your auntie, but no, it's not as easy as that. So, you know, it is what it is with pattern parts and what have you. I don't know what it is with Lambrettas, but you're always fettling anyway, so it's no big deal, is it, when you've got, you know, they give you both sets. So, you know, you've got your proper slide and you've got your 150 slide, and then you've got your, you know, both atomizers. And I believe it only come with one jet, which I believe was a 118. I do believe that, where is it? Yeah, that one was the one that came in the scooter. It was all set up for a 150, and it had that, you know, double reduction sleeve inside there. So it seems to be special to them that they've got different ones. I've been on their website this morning and they list it as being the same as a Delauto, but obviously that is never going to fit in there. That's a Delauto one, and that will fit in my JetX one. I mean, that, I don't know if I can sort of show you the comparison. That is bigger than that, so that will go in there. You can see I can almost push it in by hand. I couldn't, but you know what I mean, it does fit. That doesn't even go in at all, you know, it's out hanging over at the bottom where that's in, all the way around. Butterfingers again. So I'll cut away, I'll put that back in again, and we'll jump back in a bit. I've got to go out for the day, but you know, I'll put that sleeve in now and disappear for a few hours, come back, the carburetor will be built, we'll discuss the jets and what have you, what I'm doing with them, put the inlet back on again, the float, how to test the float. I don't know if I've done that before, probably have. You know, it is, all intents and purposes, a 22mm Delauto. You know, I took it as being that. No difference, you know, SH22, 2-22. You know, they are good enough to, and honest enough to put Scootopia on them. And I want to use this carb on there anyway. I used to have a 20mm carb, and if push comes to shove, I'll go back to a proper Delauto. You know, if I can't get this jetted up properly. It might only be that it'll work on a 150 for some reason, I don't know. You know, used to be lots of problems with these old Jetex carbs, with fuel flow and flooding and you name it. You know, almost impossible for some of them to run right and get jetted up right. But that might be historically like these. You know, you might have needed the 150 atomizer, I don't know. But like I say, I've been on a lot of forums doing a lot of checking, and the census of opinion is try the 150 atomizer, don't put the 200 one in, and go with a bigger main jet. Also as well, they're talking about different pilots and choke jets, not going too large on them. So, you know, I'll have a look. I don't know what they are at the moment. I've only just come out and fired this video up, so keep out for look out for part 2 of this. Like I say, I'll put the sleeve in, put the sleeve back in again, and then we'll put the jets in, and then we'll have a part 2 and discuss it, and maybe part 3 I'll stick it on the scooter and we'll see how it runs. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.